How we do this, we are the truest. Got these fangs super sharp, your shit toothless. Cold-hearted, yeah we ruthless. All the ghouls in the cut, let's get ghoulish. In the graveyard, acting foolish. Finna dance with the devil to no music. Cold-hearted, yeah we ruthless. All the ghouls in the cut, let's get ghoulish.
Breaking news! There's a new episode of the podcast known as Ghoulish out now, and you are listening to it. And my dog wants to go outside, even though he was just outside. So if you happen to detect the sound of a bell ringing, ignore it. Don't look at him. Don't give him the attention. He doesn't know what he wants. That's the thing. He's a dog. He knows nothing. He knows some things, mostly dog things. Things we will never be privy to as humans. But that doesn't matter. This episode isn't about what dogs know or don't know. This episode is about UFOs and curses. And my guest today is Grant Wamack. We're talking about the things I just said 2 seconds ago. We're talking about UFOs and we're talking about curses. It's two different topics. Almost split halfway through the episode. Wasn't planned, but that's what happened. It was meant to just be a UFO episode. Then Grant began talking about curses, so we had to pivot away to that, because dude, I'm a good host. I know I go where the audience wants me to go. And if someone begins talking about various curses they've encountered in their life, that's the direction we go. That's my guarantee on the Ghoulish podcast. Oh, hello. The Ghoulish Books Kickstarter is still live until the 2nd of February. So if you're listening to this in the month of January, you can go back the Kickstarter we were doing at the time of recording this intro. We are $52 away from $20,000. And at the $20,000 stretch goal, we will increase rental payment for Ghoulish Tales from 7 cents per word to 10 cents per word. And at the $25,000 stretch goal, we will produce audiobooks of the books that we're putting out in 2023. And maybe we have other stretch goals. I don't know. Maybe we're in the process of renting a brick and mortar building for the Ghoulish books, and maybe any profit we happen to make from this Kickstarter will help us pay rent. Haven't said 100% that's what's happening, but strong possibility. So if you want to help us have a building and survive in the future, consider backing us on Kickstarter. Not only do you help us thrive in this society of people who hate books, but you also get some pretty awesome spooky books in the process. It's a win-win. So just go to Kickstarter.com and type in Ghoulish, or even Ghoulish Books, and it should pop up. It might still be on the homepage. It was a staff pick. I will have a link to it in the show notes, of course, but I know some places they don't hyperlink things. Like, I don't think Spotify lets you have a clickable link, because Spotify is run by fascists. That's it, I think. Yeah. I think that's it. My new book, Abnormal Statistics, comes out in March through Apocalypse Party. So if you want to read that or pre-order that, you can do that. And okay, let's talk about UFOs and curses. Today we're talking about UFOs. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Now, how do you pronounce it? I say UFO, but I know some people go UFO.
Oh, I say UFO too.
Okay, cool.
I've never heard anyone say UFO.
Yeah, some people do. It's odd.
It is odd.
Yeah, if you ever if you're in the wild and someone says it like that, just go the other way. Just chilling around. Don't talk to them at all. Now, the reason that we were talking about UFOs, well, for one thing, you suggested it. And also, you recently posted a newsletter, which you can definitely plug, about and in this newsletter you mentioned you had seen, I believe, a UFO. You took a photo, but you were too afraid to post it. Now, are you too afraid to talk about it on a podcast? But no one's listening to this besides the FBI.
I'm not too afraid to talk about UFO encounters on the podcast. No.
Okay. What do you think would happen if you posted the photo online? Like, what is your thought about that?
Oh, so basically, I have a video of the first time in North Hollywood I saw some UFOs, but I don't know, I just felt paranoid that, I don't know, like men in black or some men in suits are going to come knocking on my door and bothering me, getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I mean, it could happen with this podcast.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I think after I heard about Jeremy Robert Johnson when he was doing all his research for one of his books, and I can't remember if it's CIA or FBI, but someone came knocking on his door and asking him questions because of his search history.
Yeah. That reminds me. I used to read cracked.com back in the day. One of the guys who did columns, Daniel O'Brien, he wrote a really funny article about kidnapping Obama's kids, and the FBI came and they fucking interrogated him.
I mean, that would make sense if I wrote something that wild.
Yeah,
I would expect that to happen. Yeah.
He then wrote a second article about the FBI interrogating him. You have to, but that's right. I forgot that happened to Jeremy Robert Johnson.
Yeah, but that is some good content.
Yeah, and that's what we strive for every day, right? Making content until we die.
Until we die, and even then,
someone might take my physical resemblance and turn it into a hologram, and I can continue making content.
fresh Max Booth content.
Just upload my brain to an AI server so I can continue tweeting. So what is this video you took? Tell me about this encounter you had.
Okay, so I think this was last year when I lived in North Hollywood. I had this balcony overlooking North Hollywood. It isn't a crazy view, but you get a good view of this night sky. You see all the stars and everything. The pollution and smog isn't too bad. So I basically saw, how do I explain this? There was maybe like a row or a procession of lights, maybe like 5, and they were moving in a certain rhythm, kind of like traveling together in a way. And it didn't look like a skylight. There were airplanes in the sky and things like that. A little hard to see, but it was just sort of trucking along, and definitely seemed like some sort of aerial spacecraft or something, government craft, something moving.
And how did you feel when you saw this? Were you excited? Were you just afraid? Because I feel like I would be like, oh, shit, I'm gonna poop my pants, you know?
No, I was excited. I was in awe because I've always read about aliens and UFOs, but I've never seen one until last year. So it was more so in awe, excitement. And then I had a couple other people, like my ex and a friend, out on the balcony too. Mm-hmm. So I think also having a little group of people, it made me feel less crazy because they saw it too. The video itself, of course, like all UFO videos, it isn't the best quality. And I had to really zoom in on the video at nighttime to get the video. So it looks weird, but it looks a little fuzzy. So,
yeah, I get it. It's always good to have a witness, I imagine. Like the ultimate phobia would be seeing something insane, and then no one else is around to see it, and no one believes you, and you go insane trying to recapture that type of image to show someone else, and you just die knowing you're the only one who saw this.
Yeah. So it makes it feel less crazy. I need that confirmation so I know I'm not just going crazy.
Have you
So
had anything happen in your life like you were the only one to witness it and like no one else even believes you?
you said, did I have anything kind of
Anything
like
strange happen? Doesn't have to be UFO related, but anything like unexplainable that you've told other people and they were like, no, that didn't happen. You made that up.
let me see. There are a couple occurrences. My friend, back when I was in the Navy, I was stationed in Spain. I was living out there for a while. My friend, she had a ghost in her house. And this was the first time I saw an actual ghost or experienced a ghost. But she told me about it before. We experienced it together before, but I was drinking and partying a lot in Spain, and she would let me like pass out at her house sometimes. So I had a key there. So I went over there one time and I was hungover. I passed out and I woke up and the ghost was slamming doors in the house and I was by myself.
What an
And
asshole. Just fucking slamming things
yeah,
for
I
no
was
reason.
trying to sleep. Nice, beautiful day. And it's just slamming the hallway door repeatedly. I was scared shitless. So I don't know. So I looked around, all the windows were closed. It wasn't even windy or anything like that, but kept slamming this door. And I was so scared and freaked out, but I had to investigate it.
Yeah.
So I went to open the door and I remember I grabbed something like a stick or something heavy in case there was a person or a bum or a gypsy that broke in. But there was no one there. There was nothing. And then it slammed the door again, you know. But I was told to basically tell it to go away. And it would listen, it would go away. But I left the house. I called my friend. She was at work. She was doing dental work or something. And she just thought it was so funny. But I was just scared shitless. I was like, what if this is the end of Grant?
Yeah.
I'm going out this way. A ghost killed me in Spain, you know.
It's a good way to go out.
Yeah.
It's not a bad way to go. I mean, what do you want? You want like fucking some type of like lung disease to take you out? No.
Oh no.
That's not exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was a good story, but like a ghost took me out in
Yeah.
Spain.
Um, you have to sometimes like think about the logic of that, right? Like this ghost decides, okay, I'm gonna just slam these drills until someone tells me to stop it.
Right.
It's like a fucking dog mad that he hasn't been fed yet.
Yeah. I think it was like a lonely ghost or wanted attention because sometimes we'd watch a movie or TV and you could feel the ghost, like this coldness between us sitting on the couch. And it would also fuck around with the volume on the TV to get attention.
That ghost needed subtitles.
Yeah.
All right. You said you had a few of these examples. Did anything else come to mind?
I was gonna say I've dated a lot of witches who practice witchcraft, obviously. And one of my exes, she cursed some girl on the internet, and her dog, this girl's dog died the next day and shit out its intestines.
Oh God. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Was that the like the objective of the curse was to make this dog do that?
That wasn't, the intentions were like pretty bad intentions, and the herbs and the magic itself was pretty like dark.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily like, I mean, it was sort of like doom and bad, kind of like the worst shit, worst energy possible was being sent her way. And it seemed like it worked. So That was another crazy situation.
Yeah.
There was another time in Spain. I used to go to this crystal shop, and I would hang out with the owner. And this lady came in one day, who only comes to this town once a year. And she just so happened to be there. I just so happened to be there. And she said I had like a entity on me, and she had me stare into this mirror, and she stood behind me, and I had to look into her eyes, and it was a real freaky thing. She was speaking to me in Spanish, touching my head and stuff. Very weird occurrence, but she said she removed something from me, so
That's good.
good. Yeah.
I mean,
So
you didn't want one of those on you.
no,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Have have you ever been cursed? Has anyone ever cursed you? You said she was an ex. Did she curse you then?
I suspect it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. There's a couple situations where things were going really well, and all of a sudden, it went to shit. I think my last, not necessarily a curse, but my last reading I wrote about in a newsletter. That same night, I got suspended from Instagram and got put in IG jail.
Yeah.
And I've never been suspended from Instagram. I have a pretty good reputation online, and I suspect that she reported me and got a bunch of other people to report me.
Was this was recently?
Yeah, this is super recent.
So I will say it might not have been witchcraft because
No, I don't think that's witchcraft.
because my friend was also suspended really recently for no reason, and it turns out it was a glitch on Instagram.
Maybe it was a glitch.
Like a ton of people got suspended, and then the account came back. Did you get your account back?
Yeah, I mean, I had to do the whole verification thing and number. But the timing was just funny. But I didn't think that was witchcraft. I just thought that was I got reported by a bunch of people or something. But
It could have all been witches that reported you, though.
That would be funny. But yeah, I deal just because I read tarot and everything, I've dealt with like a lot of spiritual people, and some spiritual people are kind of unhinged and ungrounded. And I have had a couple curses, removed some curses. So
how do you remove one?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways. You like sage isn't really gonna do the trick. That's just gonna remove, like bad juju, bad energy. Helps. You could do like they have candle magic. You can become like curse breakers, spell removal, negativity. So I'll just light a candle, maybe throw a few herbs on there to purify, and usually good to go.
Okay, I know this was supposed to be the UFO episode. I'm vibing with these kill scene discussions, so let's just go to this because this is really interesting to me. Interesting to me. How did you feel to even get involved in any of this stuff? Like, what was your intro to curses?
I mean, I think it started like I've always had an interest in the occult, which is, the hidden. In junior high, I used to read books on UFOs and aliens, and got into palm reading and tarot. And then, I would attempt spells and things like that out of random books. And as I got older, I just kept researching things. I think even Grant Morrison, he does sigils and chaos magic. So that was a big introduction. I was trying to do sigils in high school, sex magic in high school. I don't know if any of it really worked. I don't think my intentions were very clear. You have to have very clear and direct intentions and a very clear head, and not be too emotional when you do magic.
Now, when you say sex magic, is this like a love potion type of thing, or is it like a please grow my genitals by 6 inches?
No, no. They say So they say there's a couple things. They say when you orgasm or you come or like you masturbate, and when you come, you're supposed to visualize something like you getting a job or you getting a car or I don't know, a book deal. So I don't even remember what I was trying to get in high school. I think it
Yeah,
was stupid shit. We like video games and girls.
yeah,
And yeah, so that's what they say. So I used to try to do that. And then but I do know about like love magic and love spells. Like I have like a certain moral code though when it comes to all this. I don't really like doing anything that's forceful, or I don't like love magic and love spells like that. It's
yeah.
forceful and it usually like it kind of blows up in people's faces. And then curses for a long time. I don't know. Have I ever actually cursed? Like, I know how to go about it. I've helped people curse people.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if I've ever done a direct curse on anyone because you have to be real careful. They have this thing called blowback, where if you do it, if you overdo it, it's kind of like you may get part of that curse thrown back on you because they don't fully deserve, the
Right.
full brunt of it.
So what are
So
some types of curses that even exist? Like I get the feeling there's like multiple types.
yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff like there's easy shit like this isn't necessarily a curse, but I guess it skirts that territory. Like freezer spell, they call put them in the freezer. So you write like, let's say, I don't know, let's say I couldn't stand you or something like that. I'd write your name. I might print out a picture of you and sprinkle some herbs on it and basically like write something along the lines of have you to kind of like shut up and keep my name out of your mouth.
Oh yes, I know this one. I actually
Yeah.
used it in my book. We need to do something.
Oh yeah,
Except
yeah, yeah. You did do that.
I
Yeah.
called it the "shut the fuck up" spell.
Yeah, so I've helped with some freezer spells. I've done freezer spells and they tend to work. And then there's worse shit. Like you could get like graveyard dirt. That's a very common one. If you want something really bad to happen to someone, they have coffin nails
Mhm.
that people actually go out and steal from people's coffins and sell on the internet. Those are pretty bad. There's a lot of bad shit out there. And then there's shit like you go to the butcher shop and you get like a cow's tongue.
Mhm.
You get I don't know, a heart or something, a pig heart. And usually you want to print out a picture or something like that. And you sprinkle all these herbs or you burn the object and say some words over it or some intentions or chant something. And it's all about intentions. So if you want someone to get sick, if you want someone to lose their job or lose money or go broke or get a bad reputation, you could do just about anything.
I
So
see. So
yeah,
I don't know how familiar you might be with the podcast, but back on episode 100, I was assassinated by someone. I don't know who. But then I was
yeah.
brought back to life as an undead host. And to me, this seems like it might be its own type of a curse, being undead. Would you know how to even unlift something like that?
See, that's a little bit of a rough. Yeah, there's like more complicated curses and things like there's binding spells which I can't
Hmm.
stand. Um, so there's like, so basically, I would probably do a bunch of candles and try to see like I said, a curse breaker. I do a purification candle, and then I would sage myself and beef up my protection too.
What do you mean,
So,
like guns?
well, guns work too, you
Okay.
know, but there's certain things like pink salt or like salt in the four corners of your house or like there's talismans you could get or I've been getting into like Thai magic too. um so there's objects you can wear. There's like you could light a candle for protection. You could ask your ancestors for protection. There's so many different things you can do. It just really depends on what what you resonate with.
Okay.
Am I wearing this jacket today, or am I wearing this coat today? So
Either way,
yeah,
I'm cold, so I need one of.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you. So, would you be up to perhaps lifting this curse on me that I've been? I'm sick of being undead.
You're sick of being undead.
Yeah, every day I wake up as this undead ghoul, and
What
I'm
are the
stuck
cons of
doing this
being undead?
podcast. What's that?
What are the cons of being undead?
I have to do this podcast. It's the big thing. That's the big thing. I'm stuck doing this show. I'm not allowed to leave this seat. I'm restrained by some ungodly thing of being stuck in front of a microphone, just recording podcast after podcast. And
Just
also,
like
I have lots of like just maggots feeding on me at all times.
that's
It doesn't
that's a
isn't it
pretty
isn't
shitty way to
painful.
live.
Yeah, it's not
Uh,
great. So I mean, how could you help me?
I might be able to breathe life into you once again, but then I feel like the viewers, they'll never get another podcast episode again.
Fuck.
You know?
All right.
So
Yeah. Well, that's fine, I guess. What? Let's see. You said you were getting into Thai magic. What's that?
so I have a friend on Twitter, Reverend Jangle Bones, he goes by. Pretty cool guy. He has a soapbox podcast. But he practices a lot of Thai magic and kind of introduced me to some things online. So they kind of have they sell like talismans and things that were created in Thailand, and you kind of have to like give this thing called merit to these spirits and like ghosts or whatever these objects are, and they basically help you, but you have to kind of give them a little treat, a little satisfaction, a little rice, and they might carry out something good for you, or they just may want to feel appreciated. So similar, like very similar, like let's say a lot of people, obviously everyone has ancestors. There are people with ancestor altars, and you're supposed to give like offerings to your ancestors. So very similar to that, just so you show respect and they don't leave you or fuck you over either. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's pretty interesting. You might have mentioned this, but I don't think you did. How long have you been getting into all of this stuff, and like, what was the like intro to it?
How long? I mean, we've kind of talked about maybe like high school is probably when I
High
got,
school. Yeah.
yeah, probably actually started practicing magic.
Okay.
There's still things I don't know. There's still things I'm kind of like nervous and scared of.
Yeah.
Um, and I try not to mess with, like, I don't mess with the Ouija boards and things like that. I just don't inviting random spirits and things into my home. So, you have to just be very careful and clean and direct. I don't like just opening doors for whoever and whatever to come in. So
Right. Yeah. I would never touch the Ouija board in my life. Are you fucking crazy? It just
yeah.
sounds like a big mistake. I mean, come on. Those enough. I mean, just thinking about movies alone. I mean, they not taught you anything?
Right. You should pay attention. It never ends well.
Have you
So,
seen any movies that you think kind of portray the subject realistically?
of magic.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I mean, not a movie, but American Horror Story, the witches
Yeah.
season with the Supreme Witch. They have some pretty good factual things in that. I feel like there's some other movies too, but I can't remember. A lot of them exaggerate. I really hate like
Yeah.
tarot, especially. They always exaggerate every single card. in movies. But there's some fair, you know, things they do.
Yeah,
In movies. Yeah.
that's okay. What about let's say books? Oh, besides like books about magic, like novels, I mean.
Oh, novels. A lot of people get it. I can't think off the top of my head. Wow, like I feel
Oh, that's
like
fine.
Gary Beck. I've read something a long time ago that he did really good job. Are you familiar with Richard Gavin?
No.
Yeah, he does like a lot of cosmic horror, but he does, I don't think he's ever written a novel, but he does like a lot of short fiction. But a lot of the occult elements and like things in there are very spot on.
Hmm.
So um there are other people, I would say, in novels and fiction, they tend to get it right a lot, maybe at least like 70% of the time. You
Cool.
know,
Yeah.
they're doing the research.
It
Yeah.
seems to me, music, you might be able to use a song to just kill somebody, you know? Like, I mean, I think that's probably been a plot in many things we feel like in fiction, but just
Yeah.
a song on the radio, killing somebody into, I don't know, doing something. I mean, that has to be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe in like energy, more so like frequencies, harmonics. And I do feel like if you put strong enough intentions and strong enough emotions, I'm like, I do feel like you could probably curse someone with a song. Now, could you kill someone with a song? I don't know. You'd have to be pretty damn strong. Maybe you can make
Imagine,
someone sick.
imagine getting kills with like a TikTok. How sad would that be? Really
That would be pretty
embarrassing.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Um, but I could see a TikTok cursing somebody. Sometimes on social media, they make the jokey cursed objects and curse this and curse that.
Hmm.
And every now and then I'm a little weary of certain things floating around the internet. I'm like, let me not turn on this video just in case. Uh,
Reminds me a little bit of back in the like the beginning days of the internet when you would get those emails like please fill this to 10 contacts and well, in 10 days you'll die.
oh yeah, yeah, contacts. Oh yeah, and even like I think back in the old Twitter days, they used to have the retweet this or else you'll be cursed for
Yes.
the rest of your life.
I hope those were real. It would
Yeah, I mean,
explain a lot about my life.
I feel like you're well. Never mind. I was about to say I feel like certain aspects going really well, but then I was like, oh, you know, there's a lot going on. So
Yeah, well, I'm undead, so that's
that's
not great.
true. That's true.
I'm undead and I get a guy on who knows about curses. He refuses to help me.
What a douchebag.
What an asshole. Let's talk about your novel. God's Leftovers. Out now? Well, coming out soon.
Yep, it's out now. Out
Hell
now.
yeah. What's the pitch on this for the audience?
So God's Leftovers, I like to think of it as The Hills Have Eyes meets El Topo, which may not be the most mainstream pitch, especially everyone hasn't seen El Topo. But it's very surreal. It's basically a group of people get stranded in the desert, specifically the Valley of Fire, with a group of hippie cannibals who have sort of this cult. It's very intense, very gory, very bloody, but has some surreal elements. I think it's a little different than what some people are accustomed to. But yeah, I think it's good. So
Yeah. And it's had kind of a long publication history, right? Well, not publication history, but you've been milking on this book a while now, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I finished the draft a long, long time ago. And I've sent it to multiple publishers. You looked at it too for a time. There were other people. And then I don't remember, I set it aside for a couple years for various reasons. But then I felt like, you know what, let me take another look at this. I did another revision and felt like it was good to be released into the world. So,
And that's out through Broken River Books. How did you get connected with those guys?
oh, that's through Bizarro Pope.
Oh my God.
But my other books through Broken River.
Yes, that's
So,
right. Okay.
I mean, I am connected with those guys. So, as you
Yeah.
know, so
My apologies, but you do have
no
a book
problem.
coming out soon, right? Well, maybe it already came out. Black
Yeah,
Gypsies.
Black Gypsies came out through Broken River, and
Okay,
I'm gonna have more coming out through Broken River too. So
excellent. Um, did that just come out?
yeah, they came out in the same month actually. I
Oh,
just
okay.
a madman and dropped both the same month.
Well,
So
what's the pitch on this one?
yeah, Black Gypsies completely different side of the spectrum. So this is sort of a crime thriller debut. It's set in Chicago, probably my most realistic book. It's two friends, Marcus Gordo. They're jack boys. They basically steal car parts and sell them to this guy at a junkyard for money. And they end up stealing a bag of money from a gangster disciple in Chicago. And he goes crazy trying to find them in the city. Um, so yeah, it's more kind of like, what did I pitch this as? It's kind of like that show Atlanta.
Hmm.
Uh, Meets more so like drill music, like Chief Keef sort of type of flavor.
Gotcha.
Um,
It sounds
yeah,
great. I
yeah.
didn't. I for some reason didn't realize it was already out, so that's exciting. I'm gonna go pick up a copy.
It's
Really
an
cool.
algorithm, Twitter. I
What?
was saying it's the Twitter algorithm. I
It
swear,
is.
I'll
It
tweet
is.
things and people will message me and say, "Hey, when is this? Can I get a copy of this?" So
I think
yeah.
I think you've been cursed. Did you have
It's like,
anything else with UFOs you wanted to bring up?
oh, so the most recent UFO, what was that, a few days ago, last week? Yeah, I saw these two UFOs. So I had a guy point out to me, he said, "Hey, look, there are these UFOs." I thought he was fucking with me.
Hmm.
So I looked up, it was sort of like this deep blue sky. You could see airplanes, and I couldn't see what he was talking about. And then I saw it, it was sort of this bright circular disc kind of cruising to the left. Then he told me, he said, "Do you see what's tailing it?" And I said, "No, I don't see what's tailing it." But these are very discrete objects. And then I saw this other bright circular disc, but it was sort of like coming in and out of the sky, tailing the bigger, brighter disc. So
Hell.
yeah, it was very crazy. And then some other guys saw it and tried to tell me he thought it was Elon Musk SpaceX program. And I'm like, get out of here. Fuck off. It's like Elon Musk SpaceX. He didn't send a circular bright disk into the sky. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty awesome.
No footage of that. I should have got footage if I was smarter at the time.
I don't think I would think about getting footage if I saw something like that until after it was too late.
Yeah, it's usually you're in awe and you're trying to see what the hell's going on and figure it out.
Yeah. But I'm also not the type of guy who goes to like a music show and I spend the whole time just like recording it on my phone. That always blows my mind. But
Yeah,
I bet you one of those people would immediately begin recording it
they
because they
would. They would. Yeah, I can't go to a concert and just sit there on my phone in
yeah.
the sky. Yeah,
It makes no sense to me. It's like how
it
much money
doesn't.
did you pay to make you just making a movie that no one's
Right,
ever gonna
right.
watch?
You could go watch, I don't know, concert on YouTube later if you feel like that. You
Yeah.
know, you're not even in it. So what's the point?
I don't
It's, uh,
know. I don't get it. Oh well. Anyway, how can folks find you online?
Twitter at Grant Mirage. my newsletter, free weekly literary loud. Sign up for that for latest updates. And then obviously, I'm on Amazon Bookshop, all the usual stores, and then grantwomack.wordpress.com. And yeah, I think that's about it. Grant Mirage on Instagram too.
And if I wanted you to curse the audience, would you do that? Anyone listening, you've been cursed.
I'm in a good mood, so I'm not gonna ruin people's lives today. So I'll let them off easy. I'll have mercy.
Okay. You guys got off lucky today, but not next time.
Yeah, next time I might be in a bad mood. So.
Hit me up next time you feel in a bad mood, and we will do a second episode. Yeah. I want to kill everybody for listening. Those several things you could be doing, guys. Anything else, don't listen to this podcast. And that was Grant Wamack talking about UFOs and curses. Go pick up his books at the places he said in the episode. Go subscribe to his newsletter. Leave a review of the podcast on the places you review podcasts. Go back us on Kickstarter at kickstarter.com. And then type in Ghoulish. You will find it. Or, click the link in the show notes. Go to ghoulishbooks.com and buy some spooky books. Live spooky! Die spooky!
Live spooky, die spooky.
Rest in peace, Max.